Growth Pod.
Stop giving yourself permission. We're born to be great.
Then do the Harlem Shake.
Welcome back to another series of Growth Pod, where growth, success, and dreams are made here. Before we get into our podcast, let's give a special shout out to our sponsors, which is me, Growth Pod, at BryantCaterino.com. That's BryantCaterino.com for special products for your growth. Check it out. So before we get into our special guest, for many of you, you know I just got home from vacation. I went on a cruise. So, but I went through TSA, and TSA really aggravated me. Many people who know me, I really don't get mad a lot. I really don't speak up if there's a problem. I usually like to escalate it. But today was a different story, guys. So I went through TSA. I got a special gift from one of my friends, and no, it happened to be a special product, and, you can't put a certain size of product in your carry-on. It has to go in your suitcase. I didn't know that. It was my first time, basically traveling in Florida. Basically traveling pretty much, in general. So I only been on a plane twice. This is my second time. So I had no idea. The last time I was on a plane was back in December, in like 8th grade. So I go through this line, and I'm like, where's my book bag? So it had to be checked. The guy pulls out, this product, and he's like, yeah, you can't bring this on your carry-on. I'm like, dude, I just got this. Like, are you serious? And I was upset. And he was like, well, you can go back around, and maybe luggage or someone will take care of it for you, and they'll allow you to get on. So he asked someone else to escort me to the exit line to get me to where I need to be. The guy, first of all, if you guys are a certain religion or a certain type of a look, they assume that you speak this language. So I'm Puerto Rican and Italian. I look more Puerto Rican than Italian. So the guy starts speaking the Spanish to me. I'm just like, sí, yeah, no, hablo español, English. And so he starts talking. He was like, yeah, I'm going to bring you to the security guard. And I asked her, I was like, okay, so where do I go now? She's like, go back around. I'm like, okay. So I go back in line. Meanwhile, my flight's in like 20 minutes, so I wait in this line again to get on, put my luggage through, and the Spanish guy was like, puts his finger up at me, and he's like, common sense. I'm just like, what are you talking about? It was my first time here. You brought me to this guard. This guard told me to go around, said nothing about going up the escalator all the way down to the hall, make a left, make a right back to luggage where United is. You guys said nothing about that. She just told me to go back around in line. And he's like, well, it's common sense. I'm just like, it's not common sense. You don't tell someone directions where they've never been just to go around in circle. That doesn't make sense. That's not giving directions. And so that is my moment at TSA and my bad moment where I almost missed my flight. And the guy put his finger in my face and tried telling me common sense when he didn't even give me directions. So let's get to our podcast. We have a special guest on the line. Her name is Marlie Love. She is a life coach and loves to make a positive difference on other people's lives. Marlie, can you fill in what I missed?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you just stated, I am a life coach, and I just help people find their divine life purpose. I just reiterate the idea that everyone is born with an amazing, wonderful purpose, and sometimes we just need help to get back on track, and that's what I do. I just help you get back on track so you can go on your right path, basically.
That's great, Marlie. So when you were messaging me on Facebook, you talked about natural strength. Can you define what a natural strength is to someone that may not know what it is, or to a college student that's just starting out?
Yeah, definitely. So natural strengths, like I'll kind of go a little before, but I basically wrote an ebook about 5 steps to find your purpose and destiny. And step number 2 is to find your natural strengths. And basically a natural strength, I learned this in positive psychology. It's just strengths that you are naturally good at. It kind of really explains, the wording and stuff. But it's just those inherent things that just kind of come easy to you. And basically, whenever you tap into those natural strengths and you use them in your everyday life, they can help you grow and lead you to your purpose or kind of find or lead you to what you're meant to do in this world a lot easier. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does make sense. So someone who has a natural strength, for example, can you name like two natural strengths that most people would have, but not really, defining it correctly, like not sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'll kind of I'll use my natural strengths just to make it like an example because I was one that I really didn't know what my strengths were either until I went through my positive psychology graduate certification. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. But basically, there's a few assessments online that I recommend first that can help you find your natural strengths. So I'm sure we'll go back into those a little bit later. But my natural strengths were connectedness, empathy, and spirituality. And so when I took those originally, I was working in the corporate world as like a coordinator for this association. I'm like, these strengths make no sense to what I'm doing, presently, what I
Yeah.
was doing presently. And so I was like, that makes no sense. And so then as I started learning more about myself, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm a life coach and I'm mostly like a Christian based life coach. And so all three of those natural strengths of connectedness, because I connect very well with people, I empathize with people because I understand what they're going through, and then spirituality just is the foundation of all of my life purpose. It all mixes into one, and so that's how I use my natural strengths, and that's how I would recommend a lot of people use their natural strengths.
So it looks like it came to you easy about finding your natural strengths. Was it very easy to find it or to figure it out?
Yeah, it was easy to find the natural strengths because there's it's called Gallup's Strengths Finder 2.0. It's such a good assessment. I recommend this to everybody. You take it. It takes like about 15 to 20 minutes, and they have I think it's 25 to 30 strengths that they've outlined through like years of research that they'll tell you what your strengths are just by taking this assessment. And the connectedness and empathy one those came from the Strengths Finder 2.0. And there's even a book that can help you understand those strengths even more. This one does cost, I think it's like $20, but it's definitely worth it. Totally worth it. And then there's another one. It's called it's VIA, Character Strengths, and that's where your character is and those your natural character strengths basically, and that's for spirituality. And I had one of like love and social intelligence, which just means that you can understand people, like all different types of people easily, and kind of just talk to all types of people basically. But that's where you would find those strengths. So, and that assessment's actually free. And I think you get your top 5 free. And if you want like all your top 20, you pay, I think it's like $19.99 or something like that. But it's like, $40 investment for you to find out what you're naturally good at. And once you take a look at that, you can see if what you're doing right now presently correlates with those strengths. But if they're completely opposite like they were for me, that's when you might need a reassessing. Am I in the right area? And maybe I need to do something else.
So before you figured all this out, it sounds like you were a little confused about yourself when you were, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
What was your
definitely.
life before figuring this out, and what made you take the step to figure, your strengths out?
Yeah, my life before, it was just like an average life. Like I was working, I call it like a cubicle, an association, went to college, graduated, but I still had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So just like, oh my gosh, this can't be it. And I remember going to a retirement meeting at the association, and they were like, for the people retiring in 2050, this is your plan. And that was me. And I started like, I kind of freaked out because I realized, oh my God, 2050, I can't do this for however many more years. Like, I will go insane. And so at that point, I kind of said, okay, I need to start finding my purpose in life and what I'm good at. And really, when I started asking the question, I the answers kind of came. Like I said earlier, like I'm a Christian, and so I started praying a lot and just believing, like the Bible said a lot, like, God wants to give us the desires of our heart. We're all made for a purpose. Like God has a plan for all of us, and his plan is to prosper us and not harm us. And so I'm like reading all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I believe this. I need to go act it out instead of just, kind of believing it. Yeah, just do it as well,
So take
and
action,
so,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, take some action. And so I ended up going back to school for positive psychology, which that was divine. I really had no idea that even was anything. It was all divine. I was like, whoa. It was a graduate certification. It was all online at a great university, like that was close to me. And so I did that, and then as I was going through that, I learned more about life coaching, and I realized that's exactly who I am, as a life coach. And at that point, then I reached out to another life coach as I did a webinar through work, and I asked her, do you mentor people? And she was like, I usually don't do this, but for some reason I'm going to do it for you. And so she mentored me for like 6 months, which was amazing. And after that 6 months, I took the plunge and said, okay, I'm going to leave my association job and start life coaching full time. And that worked, but I still had a few little mishaps in between that. But overall, it was still like the main thing that happened was I just had the drive, and I just knew that there was like more, basically.
That's great. So
That
we're
was
gonna get in.
long.
Well, yeah, it's a long journey. Obviously, it's the big journey. So for someone trying to find you, what do you have a website they can contact you at, or is there a email?
Definitely. They just have to go to Marlie Love. So it's Marlie, and then Love, LOVE, lifecoaching.com. And if you can just Google Marlie Love, and we'll all pop up there as well. And my Instagram at Marlie Love Life Coaching, and then Facebook, same thing. It's all thing, just Marlie Love Life Coaching.
Marlie Love.
And that is people always ask me, is that your real name? It is.
It's your real name. You're destined to love the world.
Exactly.
It's there. So before we get going, we're going to go into our lightning round. So the first thought that comes to your head, you have to say it, all right?
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
What's a book you recommend?
Oh, gosh, the Bible. I don't want to be cliche, but yes, the Bible. Just start in the New Testament.
The best practice you've ever done?
Oh, say that one more time?
Your best practice you have ever done. So if that's personal development-wise, spiritually, anything.
Oh, I would say like meditation, best practice.
Meditation. Favorite author?
Oh my gosh. Let me think. Oh,
my sister just fell.
Yeah, but myself, I don't know.
All right, let's skip that one. Let's go to favorite TV show or movie.
Favorite TV show. Oh my gosh, I have like so many. I'm not good at the lightning round. Favorite right now, I would say This Is Us is my favorite TV show right now, but I have so many.
This Is Us. Next one. This is the last one. Are you a Tony Robbins fan?
Ish. Kind of.
Ish. Why ish?
Yeah, ish. Like, yes and no. Like I said, I'm not good at this because I go back and forth.
It's all right.
So kind of.
Kind of. All right, Marlie. Thanks for joining us today. You guys can contact her, like she said before. I'll have the stuff at the bottom of the description. And please like us on Growth Pod on iTunes. Rate us. Let us know. And yeah, thank you for joining us, Marlie. Any last words?
No, thank you so much for allowing me to be on this. I really had a good time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.